Tom.
Hi, Rio. I heard about your father. I'm sorry. Have one of my special dogs. It'll perk you up, I bet.
Thanks. I'll have one next time.
Keep your chin up, okay? Try my homemade pickles. They're guaranteed to make you happy.
Since the day it released in 1999, Shenmue has remained a must-play title. Unfortunately, today, there is a wrong way to play this game, and that is with the Shameful PC port. You can take my word for it, or you can stick around and I'll try to explain why. Shenmue is not just an important game, it's an important piece of digital media history, which makes this broken, lazy PC port even more egregious. Luckily, the console versions of the game on PS4 and Xbox One work perfectly, but that doesn't excuse what should be the definitive version of the game being this shitty. Alright, so it looks like D3T handled these ports. D3T, they're known for sucking. Even the now good versions on PlayStation and Xbox did not start that way. One of the original developers of Shenmue is on the record discussing how he battled D3T to get them to fix all of the bugs they introduced to the game in their port. Sound bugs, graphical bugs, cutscene problems, button issues, progress not being saved, just a complete disaster. But hey, according to Andy Kelly here from PC Gamer, this is a quality port. So maybe I'm wrong. No, I'm not wrong though, this is total garbage. Now the only concept you'll really need to grasp for this video is the idea of frames per second. I might mention a few other things here and there, but frames per second is the most general, accessible concept that'll make this very easy to grasp for almost anybody. And as long as you understand that, you can understand what the problem is. If you want to learn more, you can look up frame times, and that'll take you down a rabbit hole that'll kill the rest of your evening if you're interested in that sort of thing. So what you need to know to start with is that Shenmue operates at a rate of 30 frames per second. So every second, you're going to see 30 different frames of animation on the screen, and that's what gives you a smooth sense of motion. What you're looking at right now is a 1-second loop from the PC version of Shenmue. In this 1 second, there are 30 separate frames of animation, and that's what makes it look like a smooth walking motion down the street. If we slow it down, we can count each frame to confirm that we're looking at 30 frames in that 1 second of footage. Here, let's look at it one more time. And again, this is 1 second of footage, 30 frames in that second. This is how you want the game to move. This is how you want the performance to be. Alright, so that 1 second was fine. Let's rewind the footage to a little bit before that section though. So we're missing 4 frames out of 30. That's a lot of missing data, and it also creates a jerky, stunted, awkward presentation, and it feels bad to play. On top of just looking like crap, when you're playing the game, it also delays your input. So when you tell the game to do something, if you're telling it to do something on one of those dropped frames, it's not going to do it right away, and it's going to feel unresponsive. So it looks bad, and it feels bad. Now this can be hard to notice in just a 1 second clip, so let's take a longer clip. This is from the Xbox One version. This is near the beginning of the game. This is a 5-second vertical pan up the back of one of the characters. This is running at a perfect 30 frames per second, every frame evenly spaced. This is what we want. Now let's hop over to the Scum PC version and see how that looks in comparison. Looks horrible. It's stuttery, jerky trash. Just in case there's something wrong with your eyeballs and your brain and you can't see this for some reason, let's jump back to the Xbox version. There's the Xbox version, and here's the PC version. Xbox version again. PC version again. To really drive home how bad this is, let's do a split screen with the Xbox on one side and the PC on the other side. It should be very clear now what the problem is. The Windows version is terrible. It's embarrassing that they even allowed this game to be published the way that it is. If we want to take a closer look now, we can actually quantify how bad the problem is by counting the frames during this panning section. So let's make a mark every time we drop a frame and then count them up and see what we're missing. That's 19 skipped or missing frames in 5 seconds, which accounts for 13% of all of the frames in that 5 seconds. That is crazy. Imagine watching a movie or listening to a song with 13% of it just dropped out of random points. Now, you might think that this is a fixable problem using outside software, because there's a program called Rivatuner that can lock your frame rate down. Now, I said we weren't going to get too technical, but we're going to get a little more technical here for a second. We ran Rivatuner, and we used it to create a consistent frame rate and consistent frame times across the game, thinking that this would solve the issue. There it is. Everything's locked down. Everything should be very even now. So let's see how this goes. Wow, fucking great, right? "31 frames are dropped in that 8-second clip. At a rate of 30 frames per second, that's an eighth of the visuals being dropped out. So Rivatuner is useless because whatever wrapper is being used to render this game is not reporting the actual frames per second and the actual frame time. Now let's split the screen and compare that 8-second clip to the Xbox version, with Rivatuner still on for Windows. Why not? On top of being awful to look at, the problem is also very sporadic. When we were capturing footage for this, there were times that this scene played perfectly fine, and then the scene directly after it had all sorts of hiccups. It's just all over the place. And there are community fixes out there that don't work. We tried them. There are people who say, "Oh, I didn't notice any problems. I played it on Twitch. Go check out my stream." We checked those streams out, and without fail, all of them had frame rate problems. This port does not work properly. And we did rigorous testing. We tested this with AMD, with Intel, with NVIDIA, solid states, spinners, Macs with Boot Camp, controller, keyboard, everything. We captured using Avra Media, Elgato, and even took footage off of the screen using a cell phone. This game is broken. The enjoyment of this game depends very heavily on immersing you into its world. And juddery, awkward performance like this is going to hamper that. If you only have a PC and you don't have a console and you really want to play this, wait until you can play it on a console. I'm sure the opportunity will present itself someday. There are going to be $50 Xboxes out there. If you've already waited this long, it won't kill you to wait a little bit longer. And if you're replaying it, then you know that this game shouldn't be played this way. Fuck Sega, and fuck D3T for this port.
I'm fine, really. And you? Are you alright?
Yes, but I must keep busy, otherwise I'll get depressed.
I understand.